Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Devin and I read books, and this is Devin Reads Books, and today we are going to start a reading vlog. So Old School April starts in about, what is today, Sunday? About 9 days. Sunday to Sunday is 7, yeah, 9. I'm real great at math. But I don't want to do just some little baby videos peppered throughout the week leading up to Old School April. I want to do something fun. So we're going to do a reading vlog from hell. I have 4 of the Barnes & Noble editions of Paperbacks from Hell. Right here I have the Hellhound by Ken Greenhall. When Darkness Loves Us by Elizabeth Engstrom. I'll set them over here for a moment. The Auctioneer by Joan Sampson. And Let's Go Play at the Adams by, oh my goodness, Mendal W. Johnson. My ring light is messing up the glare. Last year during Old School April, I read The Nest by Gregory Douglas. Loved it. I had an absolute blast. I wish in the last year I had ordered the full set. You can still, or potentially whatever ones you can still get from Valancourt, because the Barnes & Noble ones are not the right size, and that bothers me a lot. But over the next 9 days or so, ideally 7 actually, because I'm gonna need time to edit this so I can get it up on the Monday before OSA, we're gonna go through all 4 of these books and everything I'm just doing throughout the week. But tonight, I think we are gonna start with Hellhound. So I'm gonna get started on this. I gotta cook some dinner as well, actually, some curry. And then I will check in with you guys for an update later. Alrighty guys, I am back. I am about 27 pages into Hellhound. It's interesting. So in true Paperbacks from Hell fashion, there's strange references to like sexuality or intimacy that don't necessarily fit with the book or the story in any way. I think that's just kind of what they did. Like you can't read a Paperback from Hell and not expect some strange, but this actually jumps from different perspectives. So we start out from the dog's perspective, Baxter, and he is like watching this younger couple who are his neighbors kind of arrive home, and he's talking about how mundane his life is, because he lives with this older lady, Miss Pratchett. And then it'll flip to her perspective, and she is not happy to have a dog, but she's not upset by one either. She kind of misses the sense of independence after her husband died and her kids had grown and moved out. But she also kind of likes having something to take care of and something to live for. Baxter is not completely miserable, but he really wants to be taken care of by this younger couple. At one point he says they'll have no secrets from him. They won't lock him out of the bathroom while they're getting ready for work or anything like that, like Miss Pratchett does. And I mean, there's going to be spoilers in this across this vlog series. I'm going to say that now. I know I probably should have said that in the first clip, but there will be spoilers. But you know what? These books are 30 plus years old. Alright? Like, come on. It's a moratorium there, and it has long since expired. But at one point, she wakes up in the morning, Baxter kind of whimpering at the side of the bed like usual. She gets up, and Baxter pushes her down the stairs, and then immediately switches to his POV, where he is upset that this other elderly mayor, who it also throws in a neighbor, not mayor, I don't know why I said that. I'm really tired, guys. who also goes into this weird memory he had of, it's not really a sexual experience with Miss Pratchett, but like, I'll show you mine if you show me yours type of thing, but there's no reason for it to be there. It is like true Paperbacks from Hell, gratuitous innuendo. Not even innuendo, but from Baxter's perspective, he is upset that this elderly man is the first person to respond, because he wants the young couple to find the lady so he can go live with them. And that's about where I am now. As you guys saw, I did some editing, I ate some food, I had to do some chores. Tonight, I'm gonna read a little bit more before bed. I was hoping to finish this tonight, but I'm not gonna be able to. I'll end up finishing it tomorrow. Because I gotta do some stuff for Magical Readathon with Book Roast. I'm not gonna make a lot of content around that, but I am doing it as a personal thing. Sorry, it'd be nice to keep that to me. OSA is gonna take a lot of my social battery. I'm an introvert, and I really want to push OSA. I love it so much. But I'm going to get a little bit more of Hellhound read. And then tomorrow I have to go to the gym, go to work, and I will check in with you guys after all of that. Hi guys, I am back. I hope there's not too much ambient noise. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. We actually built a whole new shelf. So I'm getting all of my boxes of miscellaneous paperbacks out of the closet, putting them on my spinner. I moved manga and nonfiction out to the living room. So hopefully we should be doing a library tour video before too much longer. But I read a little bit more of Hellhound last night. And again, I'm going to talk some spoilers here. The dog did it. And for whatever reason, the lady's daughter did not care. And is basically just told the young couple, hey, will you take this dog? As soon as the older gentleman went to the young couple, John, who was the husband, and was like, hey, will you help me check on Miss Pratchett? And as soon as he opened the door, the dog ran out and ran straight to Nancy. And now the dog is getting to live with John and Nancy, the young couple. I still have a little bit left in my work day, and I have to finish this whole library project. Alrighty guys, so it is now Wednesday night. Yeah, there's some personal developments. My cat is being bad. Stop it, get out of here. But I've finished Hellhound. So I think where we last left off, he had killed an old lady and he was adopted by the young couple. So much happens. my boy is gonna get sent back to the pound in a moment. But so much happens here. So he does go and lives with the young couple. And then he gets jealous of their baby. I think you can tell where this is going. After that particular death, the dog gets to live with this family across the street that has a 12-year-old boy who is obsessed with Hitler and Eva Braun for some reason. And the boy has all these psychopathic, sociopathic tendencies, and he thinks he can use the dog as a way, it's like a torture device, as a means of attacking people. And it's so strange because he just jumps between these different perspectives of the dog, who just likes to feel macho and wants to be loved, and then this boy who is like crazy, like really crazy. And then the ending is, I do have to give Ken Greenhall props on the ending. At one point the boy does something just completely unforgivable, and the dog is like, we have to have a final showdown. And it makes you feel for this dog who killed an old lady and a baby because he wanted to change families. And then at the end, it kind of pans, and the boy is the one that is kind of, I'm gonna kill this cat, that is kind of wondering how he can get adopted to a new family. But all in all, I think Hellhound, I would give it 3 star. It was fine. I like the nest a lot more, but mostly just not a lot happens. Really, it's a very kind of slice of life horror through the perspective of this dog. I want something a little more intense for the second book of this vlog, so I think I'm just gonna jump straight into Let's Go Play The Atoms by Mendal W. Johnson. This is, well, I mean, you can tell kind of from the cover, people torture the babysitter. It's got funny games vibes to it, by happening to the babysitter. There's a Christmas movie. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I don't think it's All Through the House, but it's really, really good, where it's basically the same situation. I'm really excited to dive into this. I do have to fill a shelf really quick. We put up shelves, I talked about it in an earlier clip, and we're kind of moving stuff around the apartment. So I'm gonna do some B-roll of that really quick, and then we'll dive into Let's Go Play at the Atoms. And I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Hey buddy, where's your pants? See a squirrel out there? Oh, he's so good. He's a little guy. He's a good little guy. He's a naked little guy. So I've got water boiling for hot cocoa. I'm gonna have a glass of hot cocoa before I go to bed. And I'm kind of realizing that I am very bad at this whole B-roll thing. I've recorded several clips of just like playing with my cats, who is about to start attacking my legs. Just Cameron Chaney. Yeah, I need to get better at that. But I've read a little bit more of Let's Go Play, and I made 0 progress on my magical readathon stuff. Actually, I still need to pick a class, or a calling I should say, and then actually pick that TBR. But we're going to talk about Let's Go Play. So before I described it as like a combination of funny games and Last House, and it's definitely somewhere between there, but the tone is so different, guys. Like, okay, so it centers around this family in the Northeast. Well, specifically just the kids, because the parents are on vacation in Europe, and their babysitter, Barbara. It is this very small, quaint little church-going town in the Northeast. Barbara takes the kids to church, and then they go home. She helps herself to some scotch, and then she wakes up kind of tied to a chair, and Bobby is just watching over her. So Bobby and Cindy are the main kids she's supposed to be taking care of, and spoiler time, you find out they chloroformed her. Oh my god, sir. Are you done? Are you done? Do you want to be the star of this vlog, Noodle? Do you want to be the star? Oh my goodness. Anyway, they chloroformed Barbara. And they wake up and she's trying to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, Bobby gets on the phone, calls his friend, like, hey, Mrs. Breckenridge, can Gary come to the phone? And these three other teenagers who were all much older than Bobby and Cindy, mind you, I think it's Diane, Paul, and I think Gary is actually the third one's name. I don't remember off the top of my head. But Diane and one of them are about 16, 17, and then one is about 13, and then Bobby and Cindy are like the young kids. So I'm getting like this really big vibe of like Bobby and Cindy don't necessarily understand the depth of what they're doing, right? Like they're just kids that are kind of in this for some shits and giggles, being manipulated by these older teens who are here to do some real paperback from hell type of stuff to this poor babysitter, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. I'm gonna let my hot cocoa finish, get into bed, and then we're gonna read a little more, and I will touch base with you guys before I actually go to bed. Ah. Alrighty guys, I don't know how I feel about this angle, but we're gonna run with it for now. I realized I did not update you guys before I went to bed last night about Let's Go Play at the Adams. The more I read, and I'm still not super far, I'm about 40-50 pages. I have an OA, an online assessment. It's a technical interview thing I have to do today, so I've been prepping for that since yesterday. But the more I read, the more I really think that Bobby and Cindy, the two youngest kids, are just kind of along for the ride. They don't really understand the depth. They just think, no, parents, having fun, great time. And it's really the older kids that are kind of manipulating this. At one point, they all meet downstairs, and Barbara can hear them while she's all tied up and bound. And they're just making rules over the next week of things we have to do, like take the trash out, cook, eat like normal. And Cindy's like, well, that takes all the fun out of it, because she thinks this is just a game. She doesn't realize like it's a real consequential thing. Like you have a person bound and gagged and you are kidnapping them. I don't know, this book is gonna be insane. And I was expecting that going into it, but I think it's gonna be worse than I was expecting, and I'm so excited for that. But I'm gonna get back to studying and eating my really sad lunch. It's just tuna with nothing. It's just a can of tuna. Gym life, I guess. I'm on a cut, it's not going great. I am going to put Predator back on, study, probably play with the cats when I should be studying, and I will read a bit later and update you guys some more in a bit. I'm hoping to finish Let's Go Play tonight or early tomorrow morning, because I want to get at least one more of these books read over the weekend. And tomorrow we're gonna have a big day. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be a blast. I'm really excited. I'm not gonna spoil that yet though, so I will catch up with you guys in a bit.
Just wait, there's something really, really big that I was able to, the very last thing in this video that I was able to get half $1 for $4.25. We're going to start off with...
It was this bad little boy over here. Alright, so I have not read any Let's Play at the Atoms yet. I need to actually cook dinner, so we're gonna get some B-roll from that. But I cannot pick my calling for Magical Readathon, and that's not good because I need to pick a calling and pick a TBR. Like, it's a very structured thing. I need to decide. I need to land on something. I'm basically gonna play a D&D character I have, but there's like 4 that would fit his character and his background, and I just cannot make a decision. It's terrible. So I stopped thinking about it entirely, and I just turned on Cameron over at Library Macabre. Because I'm a quitter, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We're going to go make some tacos. I got to go throw my cat off of the counter. He's staring at me very angrily. And then I'll check in with you guys again. Oh, what a mess. It won't focus on you either, baby. You don't have a face. Guys, my hoodie came for Old School April. If you did not see my other video or my Instagram post, I joined Team Scoobies, but Team Scoobies are gonna win this year. That said, I have not got a lot of reading done today. I had other stuff. I got the new entertainment center all set up. I had the work stuff. Tomorrow we're gonna have a big day. I have a plan. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be hectic. I'm probably gonna have to record it on my phone, which I don't love doing. I'm trying to get used to my camera and using my camera more, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. Also, I just realized that my washing machine was running, and hopefully there's not too much ambient noise. But I'm gonna eat a Pop-Tart because they have apple turnover flavored Pop-Tarts right now, I guess, at Walmart. I saw it and I just had to have it. And I'm gonna read more Let's Go Play while I watch an Eternal Enigma, who is a horror game speedrunner, live streamer. He mostly does Silent Hill, and just have him on the background. Read. Hopefully the next couple hours, get about halfway, and then with everything I've planned tomorrow, I should be able to finish this and start a 3rd book. When Darkness Calls Us, I don't remember the name of it, or The Auctioneer, I don't know. We gotta finish Let's Go Play. So I am gonna get all cozy here and read. my gosh, guys. So I meant to get more B-roll before and in the store, but it is way too friggin' busy. It is packed. So I did Second and Charles, and they had their penny a page sale, and I already had $30 in credit. So I have a pile of books, but I got to vent for a minute because it was like an hour plus waiting in line just to check out. Like, it wrapped around the entire store. And people were like fighting the workers on this. They were like, what do you mean I can't open this brand new sealed Marvel Comics thing? And like, they tell you to enter the building. It's just the used stuff. Anything that's sealed doesn't count. Whatever. That was frustrating. That was holding people up a lot. I have to go to my mom's. I actually have to pick up Blood Over Brighthaven, which I ordered for Magical Readathon, because that's my house's book club read. I don't know how I'm gonna do all these things in April. Oh my gosh, guys. And then we're gonna go home, and then I'll talk about the books that I got here, but I need some friggin' coffee. Jesus. It was a great time. I love Second and Charles. I'm not doing that again until next year. I'll probably end up doing it again. I'll chat with you guys later. Hi guys, so I am finally back home. It was an insane event. It was just crazy. I ended up with like 25 books, about $1 a book, and I had credit. So it was just an amazing deal. I'm only going to talk about a few of the books that I picked up here, because everything kind of falls under an OSA thing, and I'm going to reserve some of it for that. But I have to talk about some of these. So I finally found these cut versions of this series, and they're not particularly old. I think they're from like 2007, 2008, but I really love how they look, and the step back art is just wonderful. And that is the Paperbacks of Philip Pullman's Golden Compass series, his Dark Materials. I forgot the name of it for a second. There we go. Fix my camera settings here. The spines bother me because they don't match, but it's very clearly the same covers. And then the step back art on these is just spectacular. I love this series so much. I think technically it's classified as Christian fiction. I could be wrong. I mean, it definitely should be if it's not. The messaging and the theme is a little on the nose, but I love the series so much. The characters, I love the concept, the idea of daemons so much, and I just love these versions. They're so pretty. I probably won't reread those during OSA, but I do want to reread the series before too much longer. The next two are R.L. Stine, and I probably should just talk about these during OSA, but I want to talk about them now. The first one is The Babysitter. I'm pretty sure this is a reprint. It is in terrible condition, but that's fine. I like having a reader copy. I guess it says other point. I guess it is a point paperback. But this is, I don't know, maybe it is an original, not a reprint. I'm gonna have to refer to some of Cameron's videos. I have some of his videos saved where he talks about how to identify which version of some of R.L. Stine's books you have. Oh, this is $3.50 US. And that price makes me think that this, well, no, that tracks for 90s, late 80s, early 90s Team War paperbacks. I think that's about where Goosebumps was. Cool, so maybe this is original. I'm not sure, but it's pretty beat up. It's pretty beat up. I mean, it's The Babysitter. Jenny takes a last minute job. Spooky, scary things happen. We've all seen it before. And this one is actually a bind up, but it's a bind up of a duology that I didn't really know existed, and that's R.L. Stine's Dangerous Girls, which I think is kind of weird, because he also has the Goodnight Kiss books, But this focuses on Destiny Weller and her twin sister Livy return from the summer vacation with an overpowering inhuman thirst for blood. So it's just giving me big Ginger Snaps vibes, like R.L. Stine's version of Ginger Snaps, but with vampires. And so I had to pick it up. I had to. I don't think it's gonna make the OSA cut, but it's gonna get read. It's gonna go on my R.L. Stine shelf, which might be a shelf and a half. Now, at this point, the last book I picked up that I want to talk about, I picked up based on this cover alone, and that is, I've never heard of this author, C.J. Sherry Channer's Legacy. And this is like the last book in the series, but like, come on, Space Cats. And it's kind of like it seems like it's a space opera type thing about this character. Hilfi had been on the crew of the Pride of Chernarus when her aunt gave shelter and protection to a human. And then space drama and stuff. I mostly picked it up because of the cover. It's in amazing condition, which stresses me out because now I want to find the other 5 books in that condition. But this was cool. It actually had the original Barnes & Noble receipt from like 93. It's local. It's from Westminster. It's a town in Colorado. And it was $12 for a brand new hardcover. To put that into perspective, I just got this in the mail for Magical Readathon, Blood Over Brighthaven new hardcover. This was like 40 bucks. That is insane how much more expensive books have gotten. I've also read a little bit more of Let's Go Play. Sorry, I'm surrounded by books right now. And yeah, it's a game to these kids. Like it's literally a game. At one point, Barbara asks one of the kids why they're doing it, and she just says, we're just playing a game. So this is gonna get a lot darker, I just know. I am going to finish this evening for sure, but I have to build a bookshelf first. So I'm gonna do some B-roll. I'm gonna watch Daredevil Born Again while I do that, and then we're gonna read this tonight. I'm probably gonna start The Auctioneer because I think that's shorter than When Darkness Surrounds Us. And then hopefully finish that tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm gonna have a lot of video editing because I wanna get this vlog up Monday. So Tuesday I can just immediately start OSA content. So I'm gonna get to work on some of that, and I will catch up with you guys in a bit. Done right. Well, hi there. Today might not have been a good day because I've been putting this day off for a long time. Alrighty guys, I am super gross. I just got done in the gym. I read a little bit more of Let's Go Play last night and this morning. I feel this is the point in the video now where this is the trigger warning. So if you knew what my references were before Last House and Funny Games, you know that this includes everything from torture to sexual assault, and we're going to talk about some of that. So if those are particular triggers for you, if you find them particularly difficult topics, go ahead and check out the rest of the video. Check out for the rest of the video, I should say. I completely understand. I'm a horror fanatic, and they are things that I don't typically care for. I don't think most horror needs it. And this wasn't a paperback from hell, which is like a horror icon. I probably would DNF. That said, this is the warning now. If you feel like you cannot hear about this topic, please go ahead and check out. That's perfectly fine. Okay. So now I'm going to get into some of that. So they did start torturing her. At one point, I don't remember. I think I've been calling him Gary, but his name's John. Is either John or Paul decided they wanted her to be naked. And as you can imagine, it gets worse from there. John, the oldest boy, does actually rape her, and Paul doesn't, but he does kind of go into this pseudo soft implied torture. He hasn't like really tortured her yet, but he's done like the running the knife edge on her naked body, and it's implied that that's gonna start. At one point she tried to escape and they kind of beat her. I have about 100 pages left, so it's probably gonna get a little bit worse, and then it's either gonna get a lot worse or it's gonna get better. So we're gonna see. Again, this is a paperback from hell. This was something written 40 years ago, designed to kind of be disgusting and just gross. And if it wasn't an iconic piece of horror history, it's not something I would probably have ever actually read. That said, it's very interesting kind of going back and seeing some of this. And just I'm trying to understand. I mean, I do understand why. I don't remember this author's name. I think it's Greenhall was the Hound. But no, it makes a lot of sense why this is the only book they ever got printed. And it did not do well. I don't imagine a book like this ever having done well, even now, not to mention in the 70s or 80s when this book came out. Yeah, well, I'm completely right about Bobby and Cindy just not entirely understanding the depth of everything. And frankly, the older of the friends, Diane, even she has kind of convinced herself this is just a game. Although it is implied now that she is kind of brainwashing herself. She's just kind of going along with it. She doesn't necessarily think it's a game anymore, but she is just kind of going with the flow for some reason or another. It's implied it's because she's bored. That's the thing. These are very rural kids kind of locked away, and it's implied that they're doing all of this because they got bored of their usual games they play with each other. And so they originally planned to just kidnap her. She was the prisoner, and it's just evolved as things have gotten worse and worse. So yeah, I have about 100 pages left. I'm gonna grab a coffee on the way home, get caffeinated, and then I'm gonna kind of lock in, trying to finish this book today. I don't think I'm gonna get to The Auctioneer or When Darkness Surrounds Us. I just don't think I'm going to, because I really want to try and get this done, edited, and uploaded on Monday, which I don't know if I'm gonna make that deadline either. So Tuesday I can prep just for OSA. I really didn't want to upload this during April, but it might end up coming out Tuesday morning. It won't be a part of OSA because I didn't read any of the stuff during Old School April, but oh my god, I'm so tired I can't even hold my phone up. Enough of that. We're gonna go get some caffeine. I'm gonna finish Let's Go Play. We're gonna talk about the final arc, the climax. How much worse can it possibly get? Like, we're already at Straw Dogs. We are already at the turning point scene of Straw Dogs, which is another reference about someone being sexually assaulted. This is a lot, guys. I'm probably going to put another trigger warning at the beginning of the video. Now that I know a little more about what's going on. Just so people are aware. YouTube's probably going to tear this video up. That's fine. This is fine. It's a paperback from hell. Iconic piece of horror history. It's probably not something I'm ever going to touch again. But I'm going to go finish. We're going to get through it, and I will update you guys in a bit. Alrighty guys, I am back. I have finished Let's Go Play at the Adams. All I have to say to Mendal W. Johnson is, what the fuck was that? It got worse. It definitely gets worse. And I don't know how I feel about the book. You know, I know Paperbacks from Hell are one of those things where it is iconic, but it is iconic because of the vulgarity, because of the severity of the content. Ultimately, the kids almost get caught by a farmhand, and then the oldest boy, John, decides we can just frame this on him, but we're running out of time and we got to clean it all up. So that's pretty much exactly what they do. So this entire book is just from the beginning, just downhill. No hope. There's no like last stretch that maybe things will work out for Barbara. Characters start to feel guilty. Two of them. Cindy, the youngest girl, just doesn't understand the severity at all throughout the book. Bobby does, her brother. He starts to feel a lot of remorse, a lot of guilt, and be a little protective. But he feels overpowered because he is outvoted by the rest of the group. And Diane starts to feel some sympathy, and she also feels that there's no other option. It's just a game. The group has already decided this is what we're gonna do. And that's pretty much what happens. I don't know how to rate this. Because this is a book that I feel is going to stick with me for a bit longer. It's almost like the way you feel after watching Funny Games the first time. The remake or the original. It's very unsettling, and it's very impactful. I think my first reaction on Goodreads was 2-star, but I think I need to up it to 3. I do think it is the better, I should say, of the two books of Let's Go Play and The Hound. I do think there are a lot of caveats with this book, way more than The Hound. The Hound has some, one or two extreme moments in it. Let's Go Play is an entire book that I would argue your average person who just kind of likes horror or likes mainstream horror should never touch. This is something that it's kind of like a Serbian film. And the people out there that know what a Serbian film is and have seen the Serbian film, or like Cannibal Holocaust is another really good example. They are pieces of art that will only ever be appreciated and respected by even fans of that specific genre, that specific level of extremeness, I don't really know, one time, and then we may never look back at it again. Although I did watch Cannibal Holocaust twice, but that's only because Joe Bob did an episode on it. And I think Let's Go Play at the Adams, it falls into that same level of notoriety, where it has stood the test of time due to the hopelessness and the vulgarity of the entire 275 pages. I honestly can't believe this came out in the 70s and 80s. I cannot believe it got printed in 1974. That is insane to me. And I know it was his only book, and I know it was a big political piece, or at least he envisioned it as one. As kind of a message about how America's youth in the 70s were becoming more corrupt and more evil. But I still can't believe he got someone to actually publish this. Honestly, I'm not sure you can get someone to publish it now. But as someone who is very ingrained in the horror community, it is something that I am glad that I've read, and I am glad that I own. I don't know that it will get reread, but it is an iconic piece of horror history. And I'm glad that it was reprinted in Paperbacks From Hell, and I'm glad that Grady Hendrix discussed it at length in Paperbacks From Hell. I have a lot of editing to do. I'm going to end the vlog here. This will definitely not be coming out Monday morning, hopefully Tuesday. Unfortunately, it won't be an old school April video, but it will be uploaded at around that time. So if you spent this weekend with me, I appreciate you, and thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.